I'm using this under the Fair Use Act for my legal purposes, and for those of you, my followers, I apologize. I know this may seem somewhat redundant, but it is necessary to have these people held accountable for their theft of my copyrighted work. Let's listen to what Mondo from Prophecy Watchers channel is doing May the 16th of 2023.
I read a book recently. There's a new book that came out just in October. It's called Cashless, and it's excellent. It's talking about all the guys not a Christian. I like when they're not Christians, but they talk about all the wonders of cashless here in America. And then I read another book called The AI Superpowers. It was written just about a year ago, but it's talking about in China, like Alipay.
So what he does here is he is citing what's called work citing, referencing books that have been written. But he's only referencing books that have been recent in the recent days, like within 2022 and 2023. He points that out, that he's read two very recent books. And this is him interviewing Billy Crone, one of their regulars on the Prophecy Watchers channels. Let's continue to listen and learn what they're talking about.
Pay, WeChat, on the phone. You go to some of these societies.
They're talking about the cellular phones.
So you come into many of them, and this guy's like, hey, I wrote this. I was there in 2017. This is a while. This is 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I went in, I had my money, and they're like, no, we don't take that here. He goes, so I had to attach my bank account to the WeChat, the Alibaba chat, on my phone.
He's talking about they are discussing the cellular phones and the apps that are being used to buy and sell with. But it's all about the cellular phones and the applications, the cellular applications.
But now you got another big chunk of the planet going cashless. Already there, yeah, already there. And dare I say, also, many years ago, they put together a biometric identity system. And you're thinking, well, that's, because, sometimes scoffers say, about the 7-year tribulation, the mark of the beast. They say, you know how long that would take to sit there and mark the whole people and all the planet? It'd take forever, take longer than the whole 7-year tribulation itself, blah, blah, blah. Not with modern technology.
They're talking about the cellular phones and the mark of the beast and the applications and the technology that is being implemented in these days that comes directly out of this book, which is my book titled The Mark of the Beast is already in your hand. Your eyes see it without seeing it. There it is. There's the cellular phones. There's the cellular phones and the technology. Let's listen to that again.
But now you got another big chunk of the planet going cashless. Already there, yeah, already there. And dare I say, also,
it's already here. It's already there, incredibly enough, what they're talking
but now
about.
You got another big chunk of the planet going cashless. Already there, yeah, already there. And dare I say, also, many years ago, they put together a biometric identity system. And you're thinking, well, that's, because, sometimes scoffers say, about the 7-year tribulation, the mark of the beast. They say, you know how long that would take to sit there and mark the whole people and all the planet? It'd take forever, take longer than the whole 7-year tribulation itself, blah, blah, blah. Not with modern technology.
The mark of the beast, the cellular phone technology, and how they're said it's already here. It's already in your hand. Comes straight out. That information comes directly out of this book. And all they're talking about the technology and the cell phones, the technology and the cell phones and the mark of the beast. Imagine that. Imagine their incredible new revelations that come straight beginning off of page 16. That begins on page 16 of this book, of this copyrighted published book that I wrote. Let's continue to learn, to listen and learn.
To go beyond spend your money. Minutes. You won't be able to spend your money beyond certain. You know why? Because now it's all digitized, and they have this current. It's not coming; it's already here. So if
you can't spend your money, it's all digitized.
In failures, it's causing and the government's corralling people to go from the small independent banks, your local bank, right, to the big banks, and because the big banks are all in on this new digital currency, and so that's happening before our very eyes. Now, whether this continues as a giant ongoing domino effect.
They're talking about how you won't be able to buy or sell, and they're talking about the banking giants. I wonder where they came up with that. The banking giants? How would they come up with something like that? And how you would not be able to buy or sell? Where on earth would how could they have come up with such incredible new revelations? Page 17. That comes from page 17. How you will not be able to buy or sell. And the banking giants. Let's listen to that again.
Failures, it's causing and the government's corralling people to go from the small independent banks, your local bank, right, to the big banks, and because the big banks are all in on this new digital currency, and so that's happening before our very eyes. Now, whether this continues as a giant,
the banking giants, the banking giants, incredibly enough, straight off of page 17, and how you're not going to be able to buy or sell. How you're not going to be able to buy or sell.
they're saying, well, so what? So we go to a digital dollar. What's the big deal? No, here's the big deal. The digital dollar, in a nutshell, we have a big chunk of the book and the DVD set exposing this because people need to know this.
He's got a big chunk of the book in a DVD set that he's trying to sell with all these brand new incredible revelations. Guess what? This is what they weren't prepared for. This is what I've been holding back on. Criminal copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is a felony punishable by up to 3 years imprisonment and a $250,000 fine under the UFC Code, Chapter 17, subsection 506A and 18 USC. That's what I've been holding back on. This is what I can hold them accountable under. Not only will they have to give me the monies that they collected on the stolen material that they stole from me, but they can also be held criminally accountable for what they have done.
It is game over.
It is, yeah.
Mondo. It's over. You won't be able to buy. Oh, let me share this. One of their big mantras: you'll eat less meat. We're America. Don't come home and eat whatever I want to eat. This is America. America.
Yep.
Right? Really? You go to the store, and even though you have the digital money in your account, the transaction will not go through because they know everything you buy. You already hit your limit, your quota for whatever they want to make up.
Well, and I thought the one
and it won't work.
You did it. It was a great job. I don't know where the spoof was, but whether it was a European lady newscaster was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that we see that we got your doctor's things and you're overweight, so you're not allowed to buy any sugar food." But we already see that. Like if you're on government stamps, food stamps, you can't buy alcohol. It's already programmed in there.
Discussing that you won't be able to buy or sell. You won't be able to buy or sell. You will not be able to buy or sell without this, without all this related to the banking giants. Straight off of 16 and page 17.
Hey, let me add this. Sorry to interrupt you. No, go ahead. That last crisis, the first one they used to kick this off for 2 years, what became really dirty and full of germs and really bad.
I heard that. Yep.
Remember that?
Cash is bad. That's COVID cash, right? Because it's gonna spread to you.
All to prepare.
Yep, people.
I love how they're giggling about all of this because
everything's been pre-planned by this guy, Klaus Schwab. I'm convinced he's bringing in basically what the Bible warned about.
Everything the Bible said. Yep.
Antichrist.
I love how they're giggling about all of this because it comes straight out of this book. They won't be giggling very long. Neither will Bob Ulrich, the owner of Prophecy Watchers, because they will be held accountable.
There's 12 discs think there's 12.
Yeah.
And it's an hour, right? Are they an hour each or
At least or more?
Yeah. So you have we could talk for hours. But you have 12 hours in this new set, which is just awesome. So appreciate you being here today. And those listening, you need to get Billy's new stuff. Not that if you are convinced.
I appreciate you too, Billy. You just made me a very, very wealthy man because all that money will go directly to me, and you still have to be held criminally accountable. You'll still have some jail time to do and a $250,000 fine on top of everything else. Incredibly enough, they weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for what was coming because it was published long before. My book was published long before any of these things unfolded. I had already written about it, and it was published in October the 8th of 2021. And that's the very important part, that Mondo had cited two other books that had been published in 2022 without pointing out this all comes from my book that was published in 2021. Everything else after this book is nothing more than what's called a derivative work. And I own any and all derivative works created therefrom this work. So I own Billy Crone's, legally, I own Billy Crone's 12 CD DVD set.